Hello, I'm sitting here right now with our Conscious Touch for Postpartum instructor, the beautiful Charlotte Sensony Sternkind. Charlotte, thank you for being here. I'm here to ask you a few questions about your module. Um, but I guess to begin with, what do you feel like is foundational to know about conscious touch for postpartum?
I think one of the things that most people don't know is that any type of body work, if it makes the mama feel good, is suitable. And it's not because I was actually trained like in some Western style postpartum, and it was, oh, just get the blood out. It's like, okay, we're done with this. Let's proceed. And what I've learned through this is that the gentler we go, the better it is for the energy of the birthing parent and their whole family, because the gentle is way more soothing. And so we work with lots of touch that is almost energetic, more in nature than really deeply physical.
Yeah, I love that. And I can totally speak from being, a mom receiving that type of care that it's like the more subtle it is, the more it allows us to integrate it in pretty surprising and deep ways. So Charlotte, as we've all been working together for a few years now. We knew we wanted to build this program together after mentoring students through Yisha's program. Why did you want to teach this module?
So I am a body worker for, really this entire life. I was always the go-to person in my family. It's like, oh, need a shoulder rub, neck rub? It was Charlotte. So when I chose it as my second career, it was, I just had gravitated to it already. And very early in my massage career, we were given choices like, who is the clientele that we want to work with? And I'm going, well, it's not sports medicine. It's not deep tissue. No, pregnancy. Oh, yeah, pregnancy. I burst into tears. The first time I touched a pregnant body that was due, within the month. And then I went out and hugged a tree and cried. So then I talked to my instructor and she said, well, I've been thinking of starting up the doula program again. And I'm, doula? Tell me more. So then I went into becoming a birth doula, continued working with prenatal clients. And then eventually, when I noticed my own vata, my energy was getting um, more free flowing and a little erratic, because as a birth doula, you don't know when you're going to get called or how long you'll be there. So it was a very natural transition to go into postpartum. And then I encountered our teacher quite by accident. She cold called me and said, I've heard you're calling yourself Ayur Doula. I was like, yeah, that came up in my meditation. And she goes, well, here's the Ayur Doula stuff that I'm teaching, and took it from there. So I learned a whole bunch of other techniques that were so much softer. And even when I was a birth doula, I went into the softer techniques like hypnobabies and, things you could do without the medication. So I was already looking at the energetic field and how less could be more.
I love that so much. I love the origin story of how we each came across Isha Oaks. So Charlotte, in your work with all the clients that you've worked with over the years, how has conscious touch impacted you personally?
Well, I always felt that when I was giving a session, I was also receiving. First off, because my hands were immersed up to the elbow in wonderful sesame oil daily and whatever essential oils I was also using. Plus, it was aligning with where they were in their postpartum journey and taking it very gently depending on their stage and where I met them at. So um, it was very much on a feeling level, and all of it just supported me being more gentle in my life and more grounded in my own self-care.
So beautiful. Charlotte, so we've been teaching this for 5 years now. What has surprised you, or what have you learned by teaching this module?
Well, what surprised me actually is that I thought everybody liked touch and everybody wanted to do touch and everybody wanted to learn the full processes. So the first thing that surprised me, it was like the question came up, what's the tiniest touch-centered thing we could do that would help the birthing parent feel better? And I was like, oh, oh. And I remembered back to one client that at the end of the session, I pulled socks over her feet. And it almost made her cry. It just brought back this memory of putting all the little socks on all the little feet of her kids and having her own mom put her socks on, and how nurturing it is to put socks on. So that's actually one of the things we do recommend, to protect the feet from cold surfaces and also from dispersing oil across the home, the tile, the carpet of a client. So it's safety, it's comfort, it's warmth, and it's a luscious little touch memory for many people.
I love that.
Yeah.
What do you want students to experience in your class?
Oh my goodness. Well, first off, part of the projects that we do are to apply some of the caregiving, the self abhyanga, the self massage to yourself, and notice how you feel. And even if you're experienced in Ayurvedic touch, noticing the differences. So many of the clients that had already been doing the Ayurvedic protocol, it's like, oh, this is so subtle. And then I got questions from massage therapists who were taking this course. I was like, I could apply this to this clientele. And I'm going, yeah, you can take it to anybody who's stressed. The type A kind of clients. This is wonderful for your own perinatal and postmenopausal time. Sorry, perinatal, postpartum, and perimenopause and menopausal times. So it's something you carry through your entire life and can apply to yourself and your family and other friends besides, clients. And we want you to build a thriving practice, and touch, well, I mean, touch is just very special to me. And we also teach about touch permissions and, is it okay? Asking even the tiny little baby, is it okay if I touch you? So it is about self-love, teaching love to other people by the way you touch. And I think that's just one of the most beautiful things about being in the human body.
Oh, it sure is. And I can say from sitting in on many of your classes over the years, including being in the room when you're teaching in person, it's really a meditative experience to just be in your voice and in the space of your energy. Charlotte, you are a really special teacher, and I'm so grateful that you are part of this Sacred Window family with me.
Thank you, Christine, for allowing me to be part of the family and inviting all of our potential students and come experience this with us. We would love to have you here.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.